12 for 1. Bangladesh batting first here in the first ODI of this 3-match series against Sri Lanka. Early success for Sri Lanka. Liton Das back in the hut. Last time that Shakib Al Hasan batted at number 3 was in the 2019 World Cup. There's quite a bit of gap in between. And I think he likes that slot. He's made it abundantly clear that he likes batting at number 3.
Well, he scored a bucket load of runs in that World Cup. In that position. Oh, sublime from Shakib Al Hasan.
He's looking good, isn't he? Just the way he played that shot, oozing with confidence, but well, he'll be a little disappointed with the result, I suppose. Hello. Well, it was in the offing. Every time the batsman wants to take the ascendancy, you would expect that kind of a riposte from the bowler.
Typical fast bowler's reaction. This is a couple of balls ago. Shakib Al Hasan out the middle of the bat. And it's literally got to that man, Bandara, before he's realised it. A metre either side, and that was definitely another boundary for him.
Well, the Sri Lankans are going to be pretty happy in restraining the Bangladeshi batters to 3.27, the current run rate, into the 4th over. Really can't take advantage of the power play with the 2 fielders outside the 30-yard circle. Particularly, Dushmantha Chameera has been very impressive with his accuracy.
I don't think it's just the accuracy only. He's got good pace behind the ball. Saw that bouncer a couple of deliveries ago. The catch that was taken off Liton Das. Ball really carrying through on the surface for Chameera.
Well, talking about his speeds, he's just stepped on the gas. Last one, 143.4 kilometers per hour. So generating a bit of pace here. Not making it very easy for the Bangladeshi batsman to negotiate. But early days, early in the innings, you can afford to bide your time. You can afford to be selective with your shot making. Don't want to throw your wicket away. A bit short, bit wide, gives the opportunity this time. Chase on, good commitment. And good throw back in. Couple of runs to finish the over. After 4, 14 for 1. Liton Das disappointingly back in the hut without bothering the scorers. Went early, just fishing at a ball outside the line of off stump. Paying the price, Dhananjaya De Silva taking a good catch of the bowling of Chameera, who's been very impressive this afternoon. Surudana back for his 3rd over. So the lone slip in now for Tamim Iqbal. Almost got him to just play away from his body. It's good think maybe he opened the face of the bat wider than he normally does, just going past the face.
Yeah, certainly hasn't been the Tammy McBall that we know of at the top of the innings today. Just looking a little bit out of sorts, hasn't got his timing. But this is his career. 14,000 runs he's eclipsed now in international cricket. And that's across all formats. And the first Bangladeshi to do so.
Well done to him, and I'm sure if he knows about it, but don't think it's going to bother him. What is going to be important to him is add to those 14,000 plus runs in this innings. Every innings matters so much. 214th match for him. Best of 158 in this format. Though he's struggling a bit, but I tell you what, once he gets into his rhythm, gets into his zone, he's going to be pretty good to watch. But at the moment, he's searching for it.
He looks frustrated. This Tammy McBall. What's important for him is to make sure that he forgets about what's happened before. The mistimed strokes, that last delivery. Put that aside and try and just focus. Maybe go back into your shell a little bit. Start to play the ball into the gaps. Drop and run, get to the other side, and that way just build some confidence.
Every time the ball is directed to the onside or down the leg side, he's going to just whip it away. That will just release a bit of the pressure. Just one loose delivery and immediately takes advantage of it.
That'll help. Sliding down the leg side, closing the face of the bat on it. Of course, the man is up at 45 because there's a man behind square on the boundary. And once it got past him, this good quick outfield, got himself a 4.
Interesting to see the slip fielder going into more of a second slip position now because of the width that is offering Udana. Is tucking him in with that accurate delivery. It's been an odd mix so far from Isuru Udana. It's been wayward, down the offside, down the leg side. Few deliveries have honed in into the right areas. Just needs to correct and be a little more consistent. Take a leaf out of Dushyanta Chamira's bowling. Pace bowlers hunt in pairs normally. Tend to see one softens up the batsman, other tends to take the wickets from the other end. Again, I think I'll give him the credit for saying that he left that. 5 overs done, 18 for 1.
সাকিব
Hot and muggy here at the Srilanka National Stadium. Down the leg side, you're going to be punished for that. Easy pickings. All you have to do is swivel around and help the ball on its way to the boundary.
Any sort of bat onto the pace of Dushyanta Chamira is going to race away to the boundary. So the speeds in that last over, all in excess of 140 kilometers an hour. You've got to make sure that you get your radar right. Got it wrong on that occasion. And the form that this man has looked in, he's not going to miss out.
He slots back into a nice line. Only one occasion, I think, Dushmantha Chameera has erred in line and paid the price. Been by far the more consistent with his control of the balls between the two bowlers on view.
Good fielding. He certainly saved a boundary. And what a nice shot from Shakib. The bit of extra pace from Chameera, a bit of more bounce as opposed to from Udana. Stood up on that nicely. Rode the bounce. He's looking in good nick.
Again, deviating down leg side. That's going to be signalled a wide. Really must be disappointing to the bowler after some very accurate bowling early on. Seems to be struggling with his line in this over.
You talked earlier on about the right-hand, left-hand combination and how it can be an advantage to the batting side. And probably just struggling with his line and length because he had to deal with that earlier on. It'll be easier for him now with two left-handers in. You'd expect him to be a little bit more accurate than he has been.
That changes his line of attack. And a quick run taken. Another piece of good running, good understanding, good call. So we look at the running. Immediately called his partner. The batsman running to the danger end. So he had it under control. He had the ball in view. So it was quite a simple task in the end. Once the mimic ball comes in, there's an extra slip put in there. Just good thinking. Again, just feeling for it.
Now that's a good move, that extra slip. We've seen him a couple of times, just not being sure whether he wants to leave or play at that ball outside the off stump. And even just that last delivery, the manner in which he played at that ball going across him, bit of extra bounce. And just prodding outside that off stump there. And if that gets through a little bit quicker, there's certainly an opportunity for an outside edge, and that's why those two men in the slips.
Oh, that's a delectable looking shot. Typical Calypso style shot with one leg up. Swivels down, maybe not getting the meaty part, but enough to take it into the deep.
That's the timing that we've been talking about. He's played the pull shot. Ball's probably just got onto him a little bit quicker than he expected. Bit of extra bounce. He'll take the 2 runs, Tamim.
And they decided to take off that second slip. Getting a feel, the batsman now, maybe the captain pondering at as susceptible as he was earlier. 148.6. Last delivery is really picking up pace. 6 overs done, 26 for 1. Yeah. Where's the sound guy?
$26 for 1 after 6 overs. And I welcome my co-commentator. Good afternoon, Roshan. And it's been a good start so far for the Sri Lankan bowlers. They picked up the early wicket of Liton Kumar Dash. And a very good afternoon again.
Afternoon, Maza. Yes, Sri Lanka has looked steady. But this is the partnership that they need to get through. Shakib and Tamim, they carry so much of experience. It's quite clear that the Sri Lankan bowlers have had a very good method to bowl at this batsman. If you look at the lines that Isrudana bowled, he looked to bowl around that off stump and maybe just outside. And Dushmantha Chamir, on the other hand, he's got a role to play because he's someone who can really bend his back and get a lot of pace off the track. So he's been used to do that. He's been used to try and bowl quickly, use the short ball well. Isrudana, on the other hand, he'll keep bowling his mixers, takes a lot of pace of the ball, bowls cutters. He's mastered the white ball, Isrudana, particularly very good in the T20 format. He's got a brilliant slower ball as well. So all this experience is what Sri Lanka needs at this stage. Ball Isrudana. Again, you could see that length, just back of a length. Not give him too much of room or space outside the off stump. That's the line he needs to bowl. But look at Shakib, look at what he's done at number 3. This is what he did in the 2019 World Cup. He needed a purple patch, didn't he? Just got runs every time he went to the crease.
He's had a time of his life during the World Cup. Had to give away his position though against West Indies at home earlier this year. It's because the selectors had wanted to see Nazmul Hossain Shanto to come and bat at number 3, a youngster. However, he was dropped from this series. Hasn't been able to grab the opportunity in the ODI format, but he did score 100 in Sri Lanka in Test series.
Been a good over so far. 5 dot balls. Sri Lanka will want to try and finish this off strongly, and he does. It's a maiden. It's a very good over from Udana. 26 for 1. So we don't have crowds here. It's been played in front of empty stadiums. That's the need, sadly. The good thing is that the sport goes on. So change of bowling. Dhananjay De Silva with the 2 left-handers on. He's coming in a bit early with the power play on.
Ball, Dana.
There's been some bounce on the surface. Dhananjay will enjoy it. Tends to fire the ball in. Doesn't really spin it that much, but he gets sufficient turn, but gets bounce. He's got a slip in. Now the cover fielder comes in. So long off goes out. And there is a man on the mid-wicket boundary. Don't forget, just 2 men are allowed outside circle. So he's got to bowl with that restriction, which is not easy.
Ball, Dana.
It's a cautious start from both the batsmen out there after the early wicket of Liton Kumar Dash. Opening stand has been a big issue for Bangladesh in the 50 over format.
Ball,
In the
Dana.
recent past, though, there's no 50 plus opening stand in the last 6 matches before this game, since Liton and Tamim scored 292 against Zimbabwe last year.
Good work. Very good work. This is an area that the Sri Lankans have emphasized very strongly. That's fielding. Fitness and fielding has been something that the selectors, the management have really looked at very hard. And Shin Bandar are one of the finest in this side.
Ball, 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 ball.
Another good over. Just a single off it. 27 for 1. Sri Lankan seamers have been good. So far 8 overs, 27 for 1. Seen just a solitary over from the spin of Dhananjay De Silva. Just looking at the two sides, Maza. Well, in terms of experience, if you look at the two batsmen at the wicket at the moment, that is Tamim and Shakib, their collective ODI experience, the number of games, 422 matches, and they have got close to 14,000 runs, 22 hundreds, and 266 wickets. That's a lot. And compare it with this young Sri Lankan side. The entire Sri Lankan squad, collectively, the sum total is just 470. So, see, Bangladesh obviously carries a lot of experience. Talking about Mahmudullah, Mushfiqur Rahim, the balls, Mahmudullah closing in on 200. Sri Lanka has just one player, Kusal Perera, who's got more than 100 games. The rest, early days for them. Most of them, that is. Having said that, there's so much of talent in this side. Let's not take anything away from some of these youngsters in the side. If you look at this, just Kusal Perera and then Kusal Mendes. The rest, well, they're just quite early, Dhananjay De Silva and Danushka Gunatilaka. But the youngsters, the likes of Pathum Nisanka, Ashen Bandar, Vanidu Hasaranga, and these guys are exciting players and the ones who are going to really take Sri Lanka to the next level as cricketers. Swung away on the leg side. That's a poor delivery. That becomes easy because mid-wicket is open.
That crunch from Udana says it all. There was a fielder right in front of the batsman for a catching position, and then he bowled a short one. Tamim Iqbal was onto it in a flash. Very well timed. And a welcome boundary indeed for the left-hander.
It didn't bounce as much as Udana expected. So Tamim was able to ride the bounce and hit it to mid-wicket. Punched, pitched up and threw extra cover. Very good looking shot. See, one thing about this ground is this outfield is quick, so it gives you good value. Get into the gap and you just get maximum.
That was pitched right up there. It was on the slot for Tamim Iqbal. Full face of the bat. He's a world-class batsman when he's on song.
No!
See, one other thing we should have added. We'll talk about it next over. 37 for 1.
One thing is wrong because Tamim and Shakib together is 420. Sri Lanka
37 for 1. Bangladesh off to a good start after that early wicket lost at 5. Tamim Iqbal and Shakib Al Hassan steadying the ship for them. Just to add a little bit more on what we were talking about, the runs scored by this pair in 422 games total to 13,888. The entire Sri Lankan squad has scored just comparison 10,496 runs. So it tells you about the experience this pair of batsmen actually carry. And if you look at the Sri Lankan 11 on the field, this 11 combined don't have the numbers that these two put together has. But Dikwal is not playing, he's played a few games. So that's the experience that Bangladesh can boast of. So that's why these 3 games for the Sri Lankans become so important. It's a learning curve. I mean, we've spoken about a lot of learning curves in Sri Lanka cricket, but this is a new start. That's a wide. Almost the team overhauled.
Come on, Danny.
With younger cricketers coming in. So these are interesting times just to try and see where Sri Lanka cricket will be.
Right, I was about to ask you this question. Like, there was a massive change in the ODI side. They have left out the former captain, and along with few other experienced campaigner, Angelo Matthews was dropped, Dinesh Chandimal was dropped, and the captain as well, Dimut Karunaratne. So the selectors are definitely sending a big message to the players, keeping the upcoming 2023 World Cup in mind as well. And there's also issue of fitness. They are very strict at, and since selector Pramodya Wickramasinghe has been appointed.
Good work. Good work at extra cover. It's 40 for 1. That's the first power play done. So we're going to see more part-time. We're going to see Danushka Gunathilaka. Sri Lanka will have to make up 10 overs. They got 4 frontline bowlers, 2 spinners and 2 seamers. Hey, look at Danushka Gunathilaka, Dhananjaya. There is Dasun Chanaka who could bowl a few overs. So they got options to make up those 10 overs, or in case they got to make up for a frontline bowler. Punched off the back foot. See, on the point you were making about seniors being left out, I'm not sure whether Sri Lanka can play without those seniors for too long. I feel that this is more of an opportunity for the young cricketers to try and understand where they are and what potential they hold. Surely the selectors will be looking at that as an option. Senior players will be pushed. The likes of Angelo Matthews, you spoke of Dimut Karunaratne, spoke of Dinesh Chandimal. I mean, they're too good in terms of what they have done, in terms of the record they carry. And they are surely going to be part of the Sri Lankan makeup for some time to come. I don't know whether it be in the white ball or the red ball, but for sure, because see, these are some of the top players in the Sri Lankan side at the moment. Even Suranga Lakmal, for that matter, Sri Lanka's frontline fast bowler, the spearhead. But what this selection has done is shown everybody the depth that Sri Lanka has in terms of talent available. Having the likes of Pathum Nissanka, having the likes of Ashin Bandara coming into the side to replace some big names. That's the depth you're talking about.
Ball, Danny.
42 for 1.
Use of the feet from Shakib Al Hassan. Both the batsmen now look very comfortable, and the most experience of a lot, and they have played a lot of matches and knew how to build a big knock, how to build a big partnership. The average first innings total in this ground in a day-night matches are 238. So they will also have an eye on that one. Pitch so far looked really good. Balls coming onto the bat. That was fired in quickly. Tamim Iqbal. He's been in good touch in the recent past. Scored 350s in his last 6 innings, but yet to convert that into 100. That's been an issue for Tamim Iqbal. He scored 13 hundreds and 16 50s. 50 50s, I beg your pardon, and in the last, since 2017, he scored 600 and 16 50s. So that shows you the conversion rate. He would have gone on to score at least 200 or 300. It would have been around 14 to 1500s in his tally. So that's the area Tamim Iqbal surely will look to work on.
Ball,
Using the crease well, Dhananjay Silva, and also the pace. That time going a little bit wide of the crease, looking to create the angle.
The
The fielding in the ring has been very good. It's 43 for 1. So Sri Lanka's bowling in the power play has been good. They did get a wicket earlier on, but they have managed to keep the Bangladeshi batsmen under 5 runs and over. That was the wicket Chamira had. But both left-handers have looked to pounce on anything in their areas of scoring, anything outside the stumps, anything in the areas of the leg stump or drives like that. Look at Sri Lanka's record in 2021, where they have just played 3 games. They have been going at 5.1 runs in the first 10 overs. Down the wicket. safely in the breadbasket. Danushka Gunatilaka taking a lot of pace off the ball, deliberately bowling it slow. And Tamim Iqbal goes. Ashen Bandara, in fact it's Shakibul Hassan. Safely taken in the deep. That's a huge scalp. Sri Lanka needed it. Another look.
Shakib Al Hasan will be really disappointed the way he's gone out now. He spent a lot of time in the crease, played 30 odd deliveries. Just timed it straight to the man at long on region. Probably he was trying to think of playing that over the cover's head, but eventually he departs for 15. Bangladesh lost their second wicket, 43 for 2.
He was deliberately bowling it slow. Yeah, taking a lot of pace on the ball. He's just lobbing it. Probably trying. The ball is so different. He went through the shot.
Rishi. Oh, yeah.
43 for 2 brings out Mushfiq Rahim, another player with more than 200 games, 6,000 plus runs, 39 half centuries and 750s. So much of experience. But Sri Lanka will be pleased with Shakib Al Hasan being dismissed. Ball deliberately slow, had to make his own pace. It was Pathum Nissanka in the deep at long on. Quite a simple catch, but a big one for Sri Lanka. They needed this wicket. From round the wicket now, slip in. 4 others on the offside. Gets off the mark. So Gunatilaka has certainly done his job. He's in there to try and bowl a few cheap overs, but if you can get a wicket, that becomes a huge bonus.
And that's a big wicket of Shakib Al Hasan. Again, not afraid to toss the ball up, inviting the batsman to come forward and use the fit. Once again, if you look at the wicket, just take the pace off the ball. Shakib went through that shot. He knew he was far away from that, but still went through and eventually paid the price.
This is clever bowling, very clever bowling by Danushka Gunatilaka. Just not allowing the batsman any pace. If you looked at that shot that Shakib Al Hasan played, look how much he had to reach for it. Because it was bowled so slowly. But had to make his own pace. So obviously the timing wasn't there. It became a straightforward chance to the man at long on. Now the slip goes away. They do know that Mushfiq is very good with the reverse sweep. There's a man at short third man. So this is a good field set by Danushka going round the wicket, looking to bowl that mid and leg line. He's got 3 men on the leg side boundary, 2 saving 1. On the bounce. Again looking for that slog sweep. Had there been a little bit more timing, could have gone all the way to the fielder. 46 for 2. Shakib, the big scalp, out of 15. Tamim Iqbal, the captain, still there. That's a pretty strong looking batting lineup for Bangladesh. They bat quite deep. So Chamir is back. He'll be used in short spells, short bursts, but obviously under instructions to really bend his back, to be aggressive, because he's one bowler who could bowl at a 90 mile an hour, bowl the real heavy ball as they call it. And this pitch, Maza has a lot of bounce, so that will help Chamira, because he's a tall lad, hits the deck hard, tends to bowl back of a length. So he's more hit the deck hard bowler. Sri Lanka looked to bowl a lot of short balls to Tamim Iqbal in that test series, the two test match series, but Tamim Iqbal was in such good form and he just enjoyed the series. But that was one method or a ploy of the Sri Lankans, where they looked to bowl trans short at Tamim around midland leg. So far he's gone full.
The conditions are pretty hot and humid out here. It's quite difficult for the fast bowlers, and you have to feel for the fast bowlers as well. Someone like him bowling at a good pace of over 90 miles per hour. He still have a slip in pace, not allowing the batsman to free his arms, not give any width at all. So far he's been so impressive.
Really didn't get hold of it, Tamim Iqbal. That was on to him quite quickly. He looked to bowl that delivery, not all the time, but as a surprise weapon. Just rushed Tamim on that occasion. Yeah, you're right. It's a very hot and a humid day. It's not the easiest to play cricket, and I can tell you that being out there is a real challenge. Don't have hot sun, but the humidity is pretty high.
And the conditions are so hot that Atabhai needed to change his shirt after the toss report.
Just a hint of movement. Just going for that foolish delivery. But Sri Lanka have been good so far. Dushmantha Chamira had the first one. Again the movement and a good sharp catch at slip. And this is Tamim Iqbal. Pathum Nissanka settling underneath it at long on. I beg your pardon, it's Shakib Al Hassan. I keep saying Tamim Iqbal. Apologies to Tamim. That's the line they look to bowl to Tamim, that midland leg line.
And that's good cricket from Tamim Iqbal as well. Played that with soft hand, looking for the odd singles and doubles. Not always look for the boundaries. They need to build up a partnership as well. And let's bring up the 50 as well. 4 singles of the over so far. Of the most experienced players out there for Bangladesh. Need to build up a partnership from here on. Mushfiqur Rahim, he's got a slip for him. He's a busy player indeed.
Short and wide. Good work in the deep. Gives him the space with the bounce. So 14 overs completed. That's another look. Lot of width outside the off stump. It is 52 for 2.
bowling change. One into Hasaranga in the attack. Tamim unbeaten on 27. He's faced 41 deliveries. Mushfiqur has just come on to bat. I like the look of Sri Lankan team, exuberance of youth. Remember, they're missing quite a lot of experienced campaigner. The energy level has been quite high. Remember, it's a very, very hot day and humid. So it's not easy for the players to get used to these conditions.
Oh!
Play an MS.
Running.
Good starter from Hasaranga. Should have been on the front foot here. He's just trying to score runs now. Tamim Iqbal have been there for a while, but remember it's 52 for 2. Bangladesh. And if you see someone like Tamim Iqbal getting this kind of a start, his teammates would be hoping that he can convert this start to a very big one. Good afternoon, Tino Maboyo.
Good afternoon, Atar Ali Khan.
Come on, Wani.
Yes, just talking about Tamim and the manner in which he's gone about his innings. He's struggled in that first 10-over period to get the ball through the field. We know that he plays his strokes and plays them well. And he's been a man in good form. It's a beautiful delivery. Just pitching in the right area. And Mushfiq just stuck on the crease. Going back to Tamim very quickly. It's taken him 43 deliveries to get his 28. Normally, having faced that number of balls, he would be a lot further on in terms of runs. So the point you make, Atar Ali Khan, is even more valid, that his teammates will hope that he will carry on from here because he's taken some time to get those runs. And the last thing you want is to get out when you've taken time to get runs. You want to bat through and make sure you can capitalize later.
A pitch just over that fielder at short mid-wicket. They pick up a single. And it's also very important for him to realize that he's been in a very good touch with the bat against the same opposition. Remember, the last tour was to Sri Lanka, and they played 2 test matches, no ODIs. The scores of 90, 74 not out, 92 versus Sri Lanka in those 3 innings that he managed to bat. Once again looking for that big score, looking to pick up a quick single here. Good work. And has forced the umpire to go upstairs.
Can I have your best side on angle, please? Waiting for the replays, guys. Bat is grounded behind the popping trees before the wicket is put down. I have made my decision. My decision for the big screen is not out. Please load not out.
He was comfortably in, Tamim Iqbal. Yeah, but if it's hard for the batsman to pick a boundary, then what they look out for is to pick those singles, playing with soft hands to create that gap, hit it in the gap and look for those singles. This has been good from Sri Lanka. Lovely rhythm. And he's bowled with some serious pace here, Tino Maboyo.
I've been very impressed. First opportunity I've got to see him live, and I'll tell you what, he's got those balls going through to the keeper. First indication was the catch taken at slip by Dhananjaya De Silva off Liton Das. It certainly went through very quickly. Nice, tall, athletic, young fast bowler. What more do you want? Gets a bit of shape away from the right-hander, but otherwise hits good areas and got good pace.
Yeah, he spoke about good areas. And these are good signs for Sri Lanka, especially for someone like Chamin Dawas, who is the bowling coach. Have a look at this, Chino Mawayo.
Wonderful, athletic, good rhythmic approach to the crease. And he gets himself right up there. Lovely braced front leg. You won't see it from that angle. Hopefully we can get an opportunity to see it from another. But very economical action. And exactly what you want.
This time he will pick up a single. It'll be interesting to see how he bowls on pitches which offer a little bit more pace and bounce and maybe a bit of a movement in the air. Beautifully done here from Chamira. There you go, you talk about the brace leg. That's where you see the left leg being braced at the release of the delivery. She's showing some good signs here. That's what Sri Lanka would have hoped for initially when they picked up this side. You talk about youth, you talk about the talent that they have, and then given them opportunity. Just drifting down the leg side for a single. So very crucial for Tamim to realize the fact that yes, once you do get into those 30s, you do seem to get set. You don't want to throw it away. It's been a good over. It's been a very good over from Chamira. Started with 3 dots. He's already got a wicket of Liton Kumar Das. And he needs to finish off nicely here. Just the 2 singles. It just adds a little bit more pressure. Little bit wide, straight to the fielder. Bangladesh 56 for 2. After the end of the 16th over, Bangladesh winning the toss and had decided to bat first at 56 for 2. Hugely disappointed to see Liton Das going so early in the innings, and even bigger wicket for the Sri Lankans was Shakib Al Hasan. It's all about partnership. Bangladesh in search of a partnership at the moment. Needs to be watchful. That kept a shade low. A number of occasions we've seen Tamim Iqbal going off to playing off the back foot. Could have easily been on the front foot. It allows the ball to turn, dip. You've got to be spot on in terms of where you're eyeing to play each and every delivery. It depends on the line and the length from the bowler. And he's batted for a while. You mentioned Tino Mawayo. Now he's faced 48 deliveries. He's picked up 30. He would surely have an idea what the bowlers are trying to do, get the better measure of the pitch itself. Toss. So very important for these two to just take a little bit time, and when do they get set, then look for the big one.
That's the formula on any kind of surface, isn't it, Atta? If you do get off to a flyer, then that's good. Sometimes bowlers do bowl well. The surface sometimes doesn't quite allow you to express yourself as much as you'd like. And because of that, you've got to be adaptable to different surfaces and different conditions. And once you give yourself a little bit of time, as you know, it just gets easier to bat. Good from the fielders around the bat, nice and tight, keeping Bangladesh quiet. 58 for 2 after 17, and it's time for a drink.
He can't hear me. Can you ask him to give me the bowling card? .58 for 2. The first one to go was Liton Kumar Das, chasing a wide delivery, loose shot. Nothing shot in the end, 2 slips in place. And then Shakirul Hasan playing that shot of the very first delivery of that over. He thought that he was in business to hit it out of the ground. In the end, straight into the fielder's hand. Very good wicket. Really good wicket for Sri Lanka. You know, they've been very good in the field. They've fielded excellently. They've thrown themselves around now, and it's going to be Lakshan Sandakan in the attack. You know, they've showed a lot of discipline in the bowling attack. We spoke about Chamira, we spoke about Udana, but what about the spinners, Tino Moeo? I thought spinners have done a wonderful, wonderful job. Hasaranga, none for 4 in 2 overs. Gunathaleka, 1 for 5 in 2. Dhananjaya, none for 5 in 3. That's 14 runs in 7 overs with a wicket. Very good from Sri Lanka. A lot of hard work to be done from Mushfiqur Rahim and Tamim Iqbal. In his very first over,
Align! Sandakan!
straight away a single.
You talk about the spinners and the job that they've done. 15 runs off the overs they've bowled now between them, 7.1. What I think's been good, Atta, is they've not been afraid to throw that ball up. You look at the wicket of Shakib Al Hasan, and it was because that ball was given some air. Sometimes if you just no ball being indicated, that last delivery by umpire Shaikat, cardinal sin from a spinner. And there it is, confirmation, well over. So this next delivery will be a free hit, and maybe just what Tamim Iqbal needs to get the ascendancy in his innings. Oh, he's hit it straight at the man.
Come on, Ken, come on, Ken!
Won't be out, of course. I was just talking about the spinners, that's it, and the fact that they haven't been afraid to give the ball air. And I think that's why they've been successful.
That's a boundary. Too short. And nicely picked up by Tamim Iqbal. The fifth boundary in his innings so far. He looks the part, doesn't he? He looks so confident. I remember watching him in that press conference a day earlier. He showers praises to his players. He's confident of the youngsters in the team. And there's so much positive vibes coming out of him to ensure that he starts to pass the right kind of message as a skipper. Tamim Iqbal, and building up a solid relationship in the dressing room. And that is what is required. That's what we saw when Mashrafi Murtaza was the skipper, getting the best out of the players. And I feel that Tamim Iqbal is doing a similar kind of role. Well, at the moment, it's important for both these batsmen to realize that just keep batting. There's still a lot to be done in this one. It's only the 18th over. Nicely bowled, a little bit quicker.
Into the 18th over. A good one for Bangladesh. 8 from it. The score now 66 for 2.
මෙතන එකක් ගන්න ඕනේ ළමයි එන්න.
Good lines, really good lines. Spinners are doing the trick for Sri Lanka, make no mistake. So it's not easy for both these batsmen to figure out where are the areas where they feel that they can pick up runs. Nicely played, deft touch late. That's one of the areas where they can pick up runs. They'll come back for a very comfortable second.
And it's an area that he plays well. Mushfiqur Rahim. Square of the wicket on the offside. Backward of square as well. And you'll find one-day cricket, especially in the middle overs, to the seamers. And as you saw there, to the spinners as well. He will get a lot of runs in that area. Just a at 45. They'll get one good running.
With the left-hand, right-hand combination in the middle, it's also not easy for the bowlers to maintain that pressure, bowling in good areas. The moment they cross over for a single, the line completely changes for the bowler. Tamim Iqbal is now on strike, the left-hander. Again, tossing it up. And if you look at the field, there is a long one in place. And a deep mid-wicket, deep square leg on the onside. On the offside, there's one in the deep cover. But the mid-off is inside the circle. Oh, this could be tight. Nope. Now, whenever you have a fielder inside the circle, his prime objective is to stop the single if it's hit straight towards him. Didn't happen.
Yeah, and he was on the back foot as well, Tamim Iqbal. In the end, he got there pretty comfortably. Fielders felt Mushfiqur Rahim was probably the option to throw down to his end.
Ball.
71 for 2. This is good batting, in particular from Mushfiqur Rahim. Happy to push the ball around, take the singles on offer. 16 from 23. He's got Tamim Iqbal on strike now. 36 from 56. The strike rate
Come on, Ken.
just gone up in the last few deliveries, where he's got a couple of boundaries at 63 now. Down the ground. This is a very, very good shot from Tamim Iqbal. Fielder up in the circle at mid-on and well calculated.
The skipper picks up the first 6 of the innings. Effortless. Didn't bother the move. Knew the moment he hit that, that it will be going many a miles. Terrific hit from Tamim Iqbal. What was good from this pair in the previous over was how they picked up those 5 runs. Have another look at this 6. Without taking any unnecessary risk, they picked up 5 runs in the previous over. But there was an opportunity here, and he grabbed it with both hands and hit that beautifully.
Come on, Kana.
Tamim Iqbal's wagon wheel versus his spin. Down the ground, especially on the onside. This time it's on the offside.
Twenty overs gone, 79 for 2.
She's on the leg side, but this is good batting again. Just hitting that just away from that fielder, not that far away, but good understanding between Mushfiqur Rahim and Tamim Iqbal. This is what he did in the previous over. Tamim Iqbal, he smashed that over that fielder at mid-on and went all the way. Good stride in also. And he's been very good, Mushfiqur Rahim. That single will take him to 17 of just 24. It just releases the pressure when you see another batsman coming in and just starts to take singles at ease. Doesn't really put to the other batsman, someone like Tamim Iqbal, in any sort of pressure, knowing that whenever he's on strike, he will pick up a single. That single will take the partnership to 39 and 51 deliveries now.
Especially for Tamim, who we've spoken about today, not quite getting out the blocks as he usually does. That strike rate's gone up with the 6 and the 4 in the last 10 deliveries he's faced. 71.43. Up until then, it's been lingering around the 60 mark. His career strike rate is up at 78.27. So slowly but surely getting up there.
I think what is more important for Tamim Iqbal is if he can bat deeper. You can always, as a batsman, you can always cover up, even if your strike rate is not where you think it should be. When you're set in the last 10-15 overs, you can really put the foot on the accelerator and score quick runs just like that. I smashed that over mid-wicket for another 6. This time from the bat of Mushfiqur Rahim to finish the over. 9 in that over. It's 88 for 2.
Building up a partnership here. Tamim Iqbal, Mushfiqur Rahim. 45 of 55, just getting a move on. Just like that, the slog sweep. He fancies that through car corner, over car corner, for a massive maximum. So initially getting a little bogged down, this partnership, but all credit to them, biding their time and getting a move on now. See the flourish with which Tamim Iqbal is playing his shots. Just makes it look so simple, doesn't he, Roshan?
Yes, he does.